To understand Julius Caesar, the legend, the conqueror, the leader of Rome, we must first travel back to his origins. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you're always the first to dive into history's most legendary tales. Born into an ancient yet modest Roman family in 100 BC, young Caesar was not predestined for greatness. The Julii clan, while noble, had fallen on hard times, but the young boy carried the weight of his name with quiet resolve. Rome, in Caesar's youth, was a city of immense power and tension. The Republic was crumbling from within. Political factions clashed, and men like Gaius Marius and Lucius Cornelius Sulla sought to control the Senate through force. Caesar's family was connected to Marius by marriage, a fact that would soon thrust the young man into the volatile world of Roman politics. At the tender age of 16, tragedy struck. Caesar's father died suddenly, and with that loss, Caesar was thrust into the role of head of his family. But in Rome, survival meant aligning oneself with power. As Sulla rose to dictatorship and initiated purges against Marius's supporters, Caesar became a target. Caesar, barely 19 years old, faced a choice: to flee Rome and live in exile, or to stand firm against the dictator. Defying Sulla was a risk. His family's fortune was stripped, and Caesar was forced to hide, constantly on the move to avoid Sulla's assassins. But it was here that we see the first glimpse of Caesar's unrelenting ambition. He chose to live, not in fear, but in defiance. He had barely escaped the hands of death, and that escape marked him deeply. After Sulla's death, Caesar could finally return to Rome, but the experience of exile had changed him. He knew now that power wasn't inherited, it had to be seized. And so began his journey into the Roman military. It was in the year 80 BC, while serving in Asia Minor under the command of Marcus Minucius Thermus, that Caesar would demonstrate the boldness that would define his entire career. The city of Mytilene, on the island of Lesbos, was a key stronghold, and the Romans were determined to bring it under their control. Thermus had laid siege to the city for months, but the fighting was brutal, and victory was far from certain. Amidst the chaos of battle, Caesar, still in his early 20s, found himself on the front lines. But the enemy was fierce, and the siege dragged on. It was during this time that Caesar would face one of the most defining moments of his life. The moment that would lead to his first honor, the civic crown. The civic crown was no ordinary honor. It was a wreath of oak leaves, bestowed only upon those who had saved the life of a fellow Roman citizen in battle. To earn this crown was to gain not only glory, but the admiration of one's peers. And it was here, at the siege of Mytilene, that Caesar would seize that glory. Yet even with this honor, Caesar knew that the path ahead would be treacherous. The Roman Republic was not a place for the faint of heart. Politics and war were intertwined, and those who sought power had to be both cunning and ruthless. But this was just the beginning. The boy who had once fled Rome as a political target was now on the path to becoming its greatest ruler.